All right. Good afternoon and welcome everybody to another edition of the Corby Connection. Pat is our coordinator and interviewer. We have the honor today to have Dennis Figg on with us. Dennis is one of the 4 affinity groups underneath the MMA, which is the Mighty Mid-Atlantic region. And Dennis is the director of the Senior Alumni, and he will be that director for the next 3 years. He's a 1982 graduate of Notre Dame from the School of Architecture. He was a resident of Stanford Hall and was on the 3rd floor residency. In 1989, he graduated from Temple University with an MBA and retired from senior executive of the U.S. Department of Treasury in 2017. He was also the president of the Greensburg Uniontown Club, and that's been since July of 2020. I don't know how he gets all this stuff done, Pat, but this is his itinerary. And he's new ND Senior Alumni of the Mid-Atlantic's Regional Director and Regional Director since July 1st of 2022. So with that, I welcome Dennis to our Corby Connection.
Dennis, thank you for joining us. That is quite a Notre Dame man resume right there. You have lots of accomplishments, and as we discussed before we started recording, probably the most important accomplishment is that you've been married to your wife Diane for 31 years. You have 3 grown daughters, and you get to spend time with your grandson at least a few times a week. So well done.
Oh, thank you very much. Hey, thanks for the opportunity to be here. Thank you, Mike, for the nice introduction, and Pat, thanks for your introduction as well. I'm really looking forward to this. It's really an honor, and I'm humbled to take on the role as the Notre Dame Senior Alumni Director for the Mighty Mid-Atlantic since July. I took over following Chris Reddick, who did a fantastic job, and just looking forward to getting to know all the senior alumni throughout our area. We have about 17 clubs throughout the Mighty Mid-Atlantic, so I'm hoping to get around and meet as many folks as I can. And it's just a real honor to be on board with the other affinity leaders too, with Michael Brooker, who's just an awesome leader from the NDSA board, and then also with Maura Boston, who leads our Women Connect program, does an outstanding job. Matt McCurdy, who's our young alumni leader and terrific, and also Eliza Hernandez, who leads our diversity council, and just a fantastic group of people to work with, and we're really fortunate to have each of them on board.
And we look forward to speaking with as many of the affinity group leaders as we can. I'm really thrilled that we're starting with you and your work for NDSA, the Notre Dame Senior Alumni. And I think maybe it's good to just give people a glimpse of what that is broadly. I will post some links when we send this out, and it goes on social media, it goes out on email. I'll direct people to ndsa.undgroup.org, and from there there's all kinds of information that hopefully we can get into. But describe for us, what is NDSA across the nation and the globe, and then we can get to your role here in the Mighty Mid-Atlantic.
Terrific. The NDSA, and that would be great to link that up. There is so much good information on the website, so I appreciate you doing that, linking everybody up. The Notre Dame Senior Alumni Group is one of the largest groups. We have 4 directors that actually lead our executive team, and then we also have 12 regional directors, and I would be one of those 12 regional directors from the Mid-Atlantic area. And we do programs throughout the year. Most of our programming is done online, and then we also have some live events as well. So we do 2 different things. The online events that we have are around Lent. We have our Lenten journey. This past year we had Mike Staub, who did a fantastic job interviewing Rick Steve as he took us on the Lenten journey of travel. That was a fantastic program and just really reflective. The next is our Memorial Day Remembrance, which is a terrific program as well, remembering our fallen veterans from ND, and that's usually held by Mike Sering. And then the next one would be our reunion, which would take place in May or June. And that would include, generally it's a breakout seminar with our senior alumni attending the reunion. And then I think that's also recorded and available for others to view as well, which is really a neat program. And then in the fall, we do a neat kickoff event in August, and that's hosted by Pat Scanlon, who was a broadcaster for many years and Emmy award-winning broadcaster. And he has Mike Golick and other guests on. That's a terrific little 45 minutes or an hour, very informal, lots of good questions and just a lot of good sharing. So it's a really neat event, and it's all available live and then on the website for viewing afterwards. Then in November, we do a veterans recognition. And this year, I'm happy to say that we're going to be hosting several women, undergraduate Notre Dame women, 3 highly acclaimed Notre Dame graduates. And I think that's going to be an outstanding program as well. And then in August, we also do our annual senior alumni golf outing, which is held back on campus. We have about 108 golfers that participate in that. And we reach out to all the clubs and to the club members to support us in that. And the event is basically to raise money for our God Country Notre Dame Scholarship. And that scholarship goes towards helping either students who are veterans or children of veterans help pay for their school at Notre Dame. So it's a really worthy cause. I can't think of any better cause than doing that. In the past year, we raised roughly $40,000 in that event for a scholarship. So that's just terrific. The other things that we do too, we have a Golden Domer quarterly newsletter, which goes out online, and that's a terrific document. We have great communications folks that put that together. John Hickey, Bob Quackenbush, and the whole communication team really helped to pull that together. And it includes like a Chair's Corner, a little statement by Dan Kimball, our chairman, the news roundup, which includes news from around the clubs for all the senior alumni to help keep people connected and also see what's going on in the different areas. Then there's the Golden Domer Book Club, which is fantastic. It's amazing the number of alumni who are writing books these days, and it's just very impressive to see the list. And if you're looking for something new to read, that's a great source to pick up some books. Then there's also a section called Senior Alumni Kudos in the News, which is fun to share, you know, when our alumni do great things and they take on additional leadership opportunities or do good works out in the field. It's really nice to be able to share that news with everybody. So that's kind of what we do in the senior alumni. There's one other thing I'd like to mention, and that's the annual award that we give out. It's the Reverend Louis J. Putz Award, and that goes to his basic philosophy, which was really neat, and I think one we would all aspire to, was that there are 3 stages of life. The first one is learning, the second one is earning, and the third one is returning. And I think that's so true. It's so important that when we're able to, and a lot of us are now in our senior years, able to return something back to the university or to our church or to our community, it feels so good to be able to do that. And so we kind of follow his motto and look to identify an individual 60 years or older connected with the Notre Dame family who has helped serve the community in volunteer service and is worthy of recognition, which there are many, many folks in our Notre Dame community that are worthy of that. That's a really nice award, and we do that ceremony every year back on campus with the award winner. So that's kind of neat. The other things that we do though as a club, as a NDSA, is to reach out on the regional impact. What I try to do is I'll reach out to all of the senior alumni coordinators that we have throughout the clubs, or the presidents if we don't have a senior alumni coordinator, and try to work with them to help provide ideas for opportunities to engage our folks, our seniors, and also help support them if they have questions about, you know, how to get started on something or what to do, or if it just really to tie everyone together that's involved in the senior alumni coordination leadership.
Well, you've really anticipated a lot of my questions, and I'm so glad that you brought up Father puts, who, talked as you said, the age of learning, the age of earning, the age of returning. And I believe he referred to that as the ministry of third agers. And as you talk about all of these resources that are available, and how a lot of it can be found on the website that I will share, and the Golden Domer that goes out, one of the challenges, at least over the last couple of years, has been the inability of people to get out to in-person events, and maybe even just with, depending on how people's health is faring in their later years of life, that can still be somewhat of a challenge. So, how does that figure into your mission over the next 2 or 3 years as Regional Director of NDSA?
It's been a huge issue. I mean, with the pandemic, there were so many people that weren't able to get out and then have, become comfortable, not rejoining. And it leaves them disconnected in a lot of ways, and particularly to their Notre Dame family. So that's going to be one of the things that we really focus on, is how can we help reach out and connect with those folks again, even just to check in. During the pandemic, there was one group that actually it was like a campaign where they called our seniors just to connect with them, to make sure that they were all right, to see if they needed anything. That was a very successful program, and I think that we could continue to do something like that in each of our clubs, to reach out. Postcards, I've written postcards to reach out to a number of our seniors and just connect with them and let them know that we're thinking about them. If they need anything, to let me know. And the phone calls, though, really go a long ways. Just being able to connect and interact with others, and for them to hear your voice on the phone and to know that there's somebody that cares about them from the Notre Dame family, it goes a long way. So what we're looking to do is to try to find and share opportunities where folks can get together again, maybe in small groups, and maybe try just a whole bunch of different things. I mean, I think the game watches are really effective. I was at one on Saturday, and we had a gentleman from the class of '68 who really hadn't been out at all much, but he came out to the game watch, and he hadn't been to a game watch in a long time, but he felt a need to reconnect again with a group and with the Notre Dame family. And that was really cool to be able to talk with him, and just to see, how much folks can enjoy again getting back together. So we're going to look for opportunities, if it's through mass and breakfast, if it's through game watches, if it's through volunteer opportunities. We're going to look through the whole gamut of things to try to see what people might be interested in and what they might like to participate in. If we can't draw them out for activities, we'd at least like to provide opportunities for them to be a force for good. To volunteer, maybe to drop off Christmas gifts for kids if you're doing a collection for kids in the area for Christmas with the Salvation Army, like we do at Greensburg, or just other opportunities, food drops where folks can make donations. Somehow, just to make sure that they feel connected, because I think that, as you indicated, in the most recent years, our senior alumni have really taken it hard and had a hard time, maybe getting back into things. So we just have to help them. And I think just approaching it creatively, and as many opportunities as we can provide to them to find what they're comfortable with, so that we can meet them where they are and not necessarily where we'd like them to be.
I think that is such a tremendous service that you are providing, not only to the Notre Dame club members, the alumni and friends of the university who qualify as senior alumni. I believe the cutoff is for NDSA is age 60 or older. If you are a friend or an alumnus or alumna of the university, you qualify for NDSA. But it's also a tremendous service for other people in the community by getting them active. And during COVID, I think we found out first that people had to isolate to stay safe, but then we found out that isolating is itself a public health risk. And so I think in Gettysburg and in other clubs have seen exactly what you're talking about, how people withdraw and then stay withdrawn. And they probably have a number of connections in their life that give them great joy. And the Notre Dame club experience and interacting with other people in service is high on the list of things that add richness to their life. So I think everything you're describing is just outstanding. And I, of course, hope that you will alert us in Gettysburg what we can be thinking about, what other clubs are thinking about, so that we can generate ideas to contribute to your effort.
Absolutely, and we appreciate all that you're doing. You guys do so much in your club area. It's fantastic. I mean, you're real leaders in the Notre Dame family, and we appreciate that. I think it really gets down to three things for me. Connectivity is the first and foremost to help keep everyone connected. The sense is a sense of belonging. I think that, it's not just to be connected, but feel a part of, everything that's happening in the Notre Dame family, and then opportunities to be a force for good. I think that those three combined will really help everyone feel good about, getting back out and being a part of the organizations. One of the other things I wanted to mention too is one of the things I'm hoping to do is to really expand across all the affinity groups. And I've been working closely with Mara in particular to try to share our events and things that we're doing, because I think that it's important that all the affinity groups work together hand in hand in providing opportunities, because a lot of the things that we do, at least in our club and probably in many other clubs for the senior alumni, are really senior alumni sponsored, but we invite others to come and join us. We're really open to really folks of any age, and I think it would be particularly beneficial in these opportunities to have a multi-generational impact where we get everyone from the club that might be interested in a particular event to come and share in. And I'm hoping that we can get more of our seniors also to join in the Women Connect and the Diversity Council opportunities in particular. And we may even crash some of the young alumni things too, because they really look fun. So but seriously, I just think that there's something about a multi-generational combination of folks. I mean, you have different ideas, you approach things differently. The seniors can bring counsel and experience to the other folks that maybe they won't have without us. And so I just think that there's a lot to be had, not only with our own affinity groups, but when we combine together and work together.
Tremendous message. Dennis, thank you for your time. I'm going to kick it back over to Mike for his final questions and thoughts, but we really appreciate everything you're doing for the Mighty Mid-Atlantic and for NDSA.
Thank you again for the opportunity too, Pat. I really enjoyed talking with you, and thank you for helping to get the message out about what we're trying to do with the Senior Alumni Program. All right, thanks.
Mike, you are muted.
So Dennis, I want to thank you again for spending the time with us today. The 4 affinity groups that we are going after to try to expose our club to these affinity groups and what's going on within them, so that maybe we can as a club, become more involved.
Awesome.
And so, you're the first to step up, and we appreciate that. And I would like you to stay on afterwards to have a conversation with Pat and I just for a little bit.
Sure, you bet. And thank you again, Mike, for helping to get the message out and for the invitation. I think it's just one of the terrific things that you're doing in your club. So thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you, and go Irish.
Go Irish.
Irish.